I ain't gonna remember this, but let me tell y'all what I wrote down for y'all today. And I'm gonna walk on my notes real quick, but you really need this.
Yeah.
In our mind, we think someone cares. But people really just want the information. But eventually, you'll be on the paper and you'll be like reading word for word. And a week after that of doing this consistently, you'll just know the points, but you'll have to refer back to the points. And eventually, you'll just know the points. And eventually, you'll start speaking. But nobody wants to be the person who's reading the motivational message that you have for somebody until they get better at it.
Yeah.
So that's how you walk into becoming the best version of yourself.
Yeah, and I think in regard to that, that also has a lot to do. Staying in your lane has a lot to do with that.
Mhm.
So I love to go on stage. My memory sometimes doesn't support my messages, right? And especially if there are nuances through through steps.
Take the X out
Like
of
if
there.
I have to give steps of something, like there's a 7-step process. You may see me on stage with my notebook just to kind of refer to it, or with some type of device, because I don't want to forget something. And sometimes when you're on stage, maybe you're nervous and you just forget something organically. However, we're able to generally do what we do here and give the advice and the conversations that we have here, because we stay in our specific lane in our area of expertise. So we don't have to. But because we've demonstrated that we are an authority in a space, when we do pull out our phones to Google a word or do something, it doesn't look like, oh, they're not as powerful as we thought they were. If you are someone who is becoming and you're feeling like your content, like he was saying earlier before we started over, he feels like he knows his information, but he gets on social media and he just kind of freezes, has a little bit of anxiety, and it doesn't translate that way. This is just going to be practice, 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 practice. And I think practice today is a lost art. Like, we're learning things and we know the information and we feel so good about it. We feel so sure about it, but we're not practicing. You know how to do it, but do you know how to teach it? Those are two totally different things. And when you're entering and crossing over into the content creation space where it's highlighting your business, you are going from a doer to a teacher. You're educating. So that educational part is the part that we have to practice and be committed to it, not just getting the information, not just knowing how to do the information or apply the information, but now, content creator, if you want other people to see you as an authority, part of learning to be more of yourself and evolving in that space is practicing until you can execute flawlessly.